Hi, this is John Grutas, and today is the 26th of August, and right now it is 3:47 a.m. in the morning. And this video blog is gonna be interesting, very insightful. I can see it, I can see myself dwelling into very important topics, and let's go. Do you ever hear people say, if you want the truth, talk to a child? If you want to know how attractive you are, talk to a child. If you want unfiltered criticism, talk to a child. Do you know why they say that? Because children are whole. Children are whole. What do I mean by that? When we were born, when children are birthed out by their mothers, they are living, or I should say, they come into this world with no barriers, with no programming yet from their no hard programming yet from their parents, from their guardians, from their peers. They judge solely by their emotions, by what they think, but by how they should judge anything at all. They judge things based on what they know about it and how they know about it, not judge things based on how society judge things, based on how their parents judge things. They have their own judgment system which is unbiased and unfiltered and very, very brutally honest. So, if you came along with a child, and let's say you're a not very blessed person, a child can say to you that, look, a monster. A monster? Do I look like a monster? But as a child having to judge someone, we wouldn't take that seriously. However, we would take that into consideration. And actually, we will be surprised that the child have said that. However, if some other guy, if some other lady, if some other lad have said it, we would be upset. Because it is coming from a person who is contaminated by the society, who is probably contaminated by the programming of his or her own parents. And we have this rule to ourselves that we only accept judgments and criticisms if it is a child, if it is B, an authoritarian figure that we respect, or 3, if it is someone who we admire. So a child, an authoritarian figure, or someone who we admire. And it kind of struck me for a while. It kind of struck me for a while to think that a child, when he or she makes a decision, a child when he or she says something, a child when he or she judges someone, He doesn't filter it. He or she doesn't filter it. They don't filter it. They just say whatever comes to their mind. And who do you think they are basing their judgments with? Who do you think they are basing their actions with? Well, if it is some 5 to 6 year old kid, we can say that there will be a little bias if he or she had parents that are very, very influencing, or he or she came to an environment that is very bad influenced, or we could say at the end of the spectrum, he or she have lived or have been programmed to the very extreme of the bad side of a spectrum. But all in all, a child judges, a child decides by instinct, by what he sees, but what his senses tells him. And in this modern day, it will still be acceptable for a child to judge someone based on what they are portraying. However, once that kid grows up a bit, grows taller a bit, he or she will be faced with a lot of criticisms too. He or she will be faced with a lot of confrontations, with a lot of harsh confrontations from people, and that is very harming for that kid. That will be very life-changing for him, because some of us grow up without having to depend on someone emotionally, mentally, socially, because most of our parents have at least a pride in which they would want us to eat, provide for us our physical needs. However, the other needs, they cannot provide that, because they are so busy figuring out a way to have a stable income for us to have food to eat every single day. So that is only their focus. Most of our parents, that is their only focus. So we got to figure out the rest. This generation will, yes, we will be soft because our physical needs have already been met. We can go anywhere and have food to eat. We can have ourselves not think of food, because we know that when we get home, our parents already have some either money or some stock of food. So now that isn't our concern. Our greatest concern now would be an emotional needs on how to fulfill them, mental needs, psychological needs on how we could fulfill them, spiritual needs. And that isn't being soft, that is continuing the pattern. That is continuing a very noble pursuit to achieving all needs of a man. So that kid, when he grows up, That, that kid, when he grows up, he will most likely suppress his emotions, filter his words in order to not offend somebody or someone, because the amount of confrontations you get by speaking your mind, the amount of jealousy that you get from speaking your mind, will there will come a time where it will be detrimental to you. Although you're not doing anything bad, you're just speaking your mind, and truth is very offensive. There is no there is some objective truth and there is a subjective truth. Some examples of objective truth is that women give birth and they have eggs in which the sperm must go into in order to produce a baby. And some objective truth and some subjective truth that includes a very biased viewpoint in which it depends on the individual's upbringing. It depends on the what worked for the individual when he was growing up. It depends on the social circumstances that the individual faced with, and what solutions did he or she used in order to make things better, or in order to pass difficult times. And that is a subjective truth. And as humans, we all have archetypes, and I believe in that because every animal so too have archetypes. One might be more dominant, one might be more small, one might be more tall, one might be more social, one might be more introverted, one might be disabled, one might be very confident. And all those people that I described, each has a way of living through life. Each has a way of having his own way to doing things which will help him cross the difficulties of life in order to have a good life. So, when you suppress yourself, I have read this earlier. I have read this recently. When you suppress the things that, when you filter yourself, when you suppress your emotions, the memories that come with it, or the past memories that come with it, will be suppressed too. Meaning you will forget things more often. You will have a hard time remembering things very clearly, because everything in life has a advantage and a disadvantage, and suppressing your emotions also has them both. The advantage of suppressing an emotion is that you will be seen as a more respectful guy because you have sacrificed something in order to get something. However, the disadvantages that come with it is that you will have a hard time retaining memory, and you will have a hard time being in the present moment. So, right now, my advice is don't suppress your emotions, but rather control it. Learn to fight, but learn to be civilized. It's okay to be intimidating. However, you must learn how to fight. Having boundaries isn't being offensive to someone. Say, always say no if you don't feel like going. If you think that the event in which either your friends or your co-workers invite you to isn't really beneficial to you and you have something important to do, don't hesitate to say no. Don't be a yes man. Have respect for yourself. Do the things that you said you will do. Treat yourself on how you want other people to treat you. Learn to have Learn to earn money because money brings freedom. And me, being a kid who is very controlled by the people who look after me, that is the thing that I want the most, freedom. But not too much, just about right. So that's it. I will upload this to YouTube. It's been 16 and 20 seconds. Thank you for listening. Pass the message. You are not alone. A lot of people are suffering too. But cheers to the people who are continue to struggle in order for them to live. Cheers to the people who have strong whys on why they still want to live. Cheers to the people who keep on taking the world's attacks just to keep on living. So that's it. Thank you for listening. I'm out.